Hi, Grandpa Jim from Eretz Israel, and it's Parshas Metzorah. And before I start, I'll show you the progress here in our sukkah. You've seen these white sheets before that we keep here instead of the sky. And there's a machzan that I made for the chairs and tables. And then I've found various pieces of junk, and I do love junk, all kinds of garbage, and so I put them in here. I like the colors, and we've been picking up flowers here and there. Some of them take cuttings from friends, and some of them we actually bought. So that's the progress here in the sukkah. So last week we talked about, in Parshas Tazria, we talked about the Metzorah, the guy who was doing something wrong, maybe saying Lashon Hara about people, and he finds himself now with this skin condition that tells the whole world that he's been doing something wrong. And he went to the Kohen, he brought to the Kohen, and the Kohen takes a look at it and says, "You got Zaras, you're Tameh. You have to go outside the camp and stay there until it clears up." So he goes out for some period of time, and eventually he gets to the point where he says, looks like it's clearing up. So he has to go back to the Kohen. He presents himself to the Kohen, and he says, "I think it's cleared up." Kohen examines it, and the Kohen can declare him tahor, and then he's clean. And then he has a purification process that involves sacrificing some animals, one of which is a lamb. And the Kohen takes the blood of the lamb that was sacrificed and puts some on his ear and on his thumb and on his great toe. You know which one is the great toe? A large toe. All on the right side. And then further, he has to get some olive oil put on his right ear, his right thumb, and his right great toe. What does that have to do with, is this magic? He's already cured. This isn't a cure. It's not a physical cure. Why on earth? You hear one of these things, what is the Torah talking about here? Why on earth does he have to have this strange procedure of having blood and oil put on 3 parts of his body? Well, right now it makes no sense, but when I get done, thanks to the Shem Mishmuel, where I got this from, it'll make perfect sense. There's only one other place in the Torah where somebody has to put blood and oil on these 3 parts of his body. At the dedication of the Mishkan, when Aaron and his sons were set apart to be Kohanim, they had to have blood from their sacrifices and oil applied to the ear, the thumb, and the great toe. Why? Well, the Kohanim were going to be elevated to the highest spiritual level that human beings can attain on earth. They were to be the spiritual guides of the most spiritual people in the world. And Shem Mishmuel says that the ear and the thumb and the toe are the most distant points of the body. Not your heart, not your liver. Way out there. And the idea is that by having these parts of the body sanctified through the blood and the oil, that the whole body, every part of the Kohen, becomes spiritually elevated, raised up. That's what the Metzorah needs, the man who talked Lashon Hara or did other things. He allowed himself to fall to the lowest point He needs to be raised up. He allowed his precious neshama to be spread out with bad things. He needs to start all over. Now what the Kohen does when he looks and sees that it's cleared up, according to the Shem Yishmael, what the Kohen is doing is he's looking, determining with spiritual insight this person has or has not changed his ways. If he has, then he gets that same aliyah, the blood and the oil. He becomes a new person. Now, it was embarrassing when he had to leave the camp. He comes back into the camp. Everybody knows the only reason he's back in is because he's a new person. And so rather than pointing to him and say, you know what he did? He was a Metzorah. He had to leave the camp. No. I say, look at him. He has changed completely. He has seen the error of his ways. And he's a new person. And the Gemara says that the Gedolim cannot, the greatest Jews in the world cannot stand where the Baal Tshuva, the one who sinned and returns, stands, because he's taken a tremendous trip in life from very low to very high. So, let's see what I missed here. Oh, okay, I guess I should read the portions from Parshas Metzorah. First, chapter 14, verse 14. The Kohen shall take from the blood of the guilt offering, and the Kohen shall place it on the middle part of the right ear, the person being purified, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot. And then further on, some of the oil remaining on his palm from sprinkling, Kohen shall put on the middle part of the right ear of the man being purified, and the thumb of his right hand, and the big toe of his right foot, on top of the blood from the guilt offering that was already there. The sad fact is, we don't have a Beit HaMikdash. We don't have Kohanim who are kosher, clean. We don't even know for sure who's a Kohen. We can still do tshuva. But imagine if we had spiritual guides that we could all love and trust, who would show us the errors that we've made and how to correct them, and perceive that we've made our changes. Well, maybe we can all work towards that. So, have a great Shabbos, and talk to you, God willing, before Pesach. Bye-bye.